Hello, this is Brian Chin, and in this presentation, I will be talking about how to treat fin clamp. So what is fin clamp? And this is when the fish's tail and dorsal fins are not fully extended. As you can see here, compared to a healthy fish, the angle of the tail starts to decline and the dorsal starts to collapse. Let's look further. Compared to a healthy fish, you can see how the fins, as I mentioned before, the width is getting less and the dorsal is starting to be more narrow. And at this stage, the fish is treatable. But if you go any farther where it gets to this stage, especially you can see the dorsal becomes like a point. The fish is untreatable. I mean, you can treat it and the fish is healthy, is eating, but the fins never seem to recover. And here's one of the fish in my tanks starting to get fin clamp. You can see that this is a delta, so it should be 60-degree angle. It's not. It's more like a 45-degree angle. You can see the dorsal starting to get kind of collapsed there. And the female here is showing a similar type of fin clamp. So what are some of the causes? One of the causes I have found is water quality, and it's the high ammonia, nitrite, and nitrates level. Fish are stressed, change in environment, meaning you can maybe change the fish from one tank to another that has a different type of water or temperature, or even the ammonia and nitrate levels are different. And also too, for instance, if you got a fish that you bought and it got sent in, they come from a different type of water, and then you put it in your tank and it doesn't like it, it gets stressed, it can't readjust itself. And sometimes you can mix other fish, like your tank is fine, and then you put other fish in there, they may have a higher degree of infection of parasites or fungus, and it can maybe infect your fish. And getting chased or frightened. So if they're in a tank where there's more aggressive fish chasing them around, they can get stressed and it lowers their immune system. And also presence of parasites and fungus. And unfortunately, in most tanks, these guys are always around. And if your fish is healthy and the water's good, usually your fish can fight it off and it doesn't bother them. But once they're stressed from poor quality or from other factors, the parasites and fungus can take over. And it's usually they take over on a weakened fish. So how to treat fin clamp? The best way is to cover all possible causes. So I would fix the water quality or improve it, treat for external parasites and fungus, and treat for internal parasites. Do all three at the same time. For water quality, the way you can improve the water quality is do a 50% water change. Check and correct your filter operation if needed. Take it apart. Is the water flowing correctly? Is the filter pads all clogged up and you need to wash it out or change it? These things can cause your filtration to not work and lower your water quality. I also add zeolite, and here's the zeolite here. And what I like about it is that it immediately starts to reduce the ammonia level in your fish tank. And I'll also add biologicals. And what may be happening is your filtration is working fine, but your biologicals, the good bacteria, is not there to help your filter break down the ammonias and the nitrites. And even if you do a water test and it looks fine, I would do this anyway to improve the water quality. Nothing like having really good water quality to help a sick fish recover faster. For external parasites and fungus, I use Riddick Plus, or you can use an equivalent. And what's in Riddick Plus is formaldehyde and zinc-free chloride salt of malachite green. And treat as per the label on the container for about a week. And this treatment, which I like about it, it doesn't destroy the good biological bacteria that is essential for your filtration to work correctly. For internal parasites, I use fenbendazole daily for about a week. And it's available at stores, so you can buy food that's already treated with this stuff. And there's a recipe which I use for myself if you do not have access to treated fish food with fenbendazole. Now what I do is I buy Panicure, which is usually used as a dewormer for dogs and cats. You can also get it for fish only. I think I've seen it on the market where they have fenbendazole. Now I take 1 teaspoon of it, of the powder, and I dissolve it in 1 teaspoon of warm water, and I really mix it up so it's all completely dissolved in water. And then I put in 1 tablespoon of ground flake food, and then that absorbs all the fenbendazole into the flake food. And then I put it in a storage bag, flatten it out, and freeze it. And then I always have it available when I need it, if a fish suddenly starts to get fin clamp. And what I like about this is that it has a low toxicity, especially compared to ivermectin. And I avoid using all-in-one medications, because usually it contains medication for internal parasites, external parasites, fungus, and bacteria. So it kills all bacteria in your tanks, the good and the bad. And the good bacteria is what you need for your biologicals to work. So you put in this, it kills all your good bacteria, your filtration is not going to be working well. And then your ammonia levels and nitrites, they all start to spike up. Not a good thing. And usually this bacteria isn't really the first cause of fin clamp. And the way this treatment usually works is like a tablet or some powder that you put in the water. And unfortunately, if you're treating for internal parasites, it isn't as effective. The fish really needs to eat the medication to truly work well against internal parasites. So why do I do this? From experience, the success rate is higher when I include all 3 ways of treating water, internal and external parasites, and fungus. And since the exact cause is unknown, it's best to cover all possibilities to get that fish back in recovery before he gets worse. And this combination of treatment also has a lower death rate due to medication. Because there's a lot of medications that when the fish is already weakened, you put this in, the fish just can't take it and they die. And I usually see recovery within a week. And actually I see a markedly great improvement in about 3 days. And what I found is when I included internal parasite treatment, the healing rate was increased greatly. So I really wanted to share it with all of you, and hopefully this can help you solve this fin clamp problem quickly. If you're interested in a book on just healthy aquarium in general, I have a book on Amazon. And I also have books on guppies, breeding guppies, and the genetics of guppies, also on Amazon. And I have an informational website on guppywest.com. And there's books, talks about my books, and has a lot of guppy show photos and informative articles. If you can, subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I often put in new videos on breeding guppies. And thank you for watching this video.